What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV. Yo, man, I got to tell you, thanks to everybody that's tuning in that has supported this show for the past 4 years. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And today, this show is for you. This is a special one. This is the one that kind of solidifies and validates the Nappy Head Funk Army brand. And you can see right here, I'm rocking one of the shirts, right? So check this out. Today, we've been blessed to have as many of the OGs that could come through and hang out with us and tell their story, because we are being honored by David Webb and the Funk Chronicles Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center up in Dayton, Ohio, right? And that's going to go down March 28th on my birthday. But today is the official show, the official announcement that, we got in, we did our thing for the funk, underground with the peed all over as much as we could on the funk, kept it alive, did our thing for New York, up and down Long Island, did a lot of festivals up there. We did a lot of stuff to help keep the funk alive. Our longevity. What's up, Dr. Brookenstein? You down with us too? If we going in, you going in, bro. So check this out. Our longevity and our brand speaks for itself. We've been very, very blessed to still be able to knock it out. Everybody, is doing well, except we did lose one of our funk members this past summer, and we're going to talk about our general, Mr. Carlton Collier. But other than that, we still all here. We still all grinding. Everybody's still making music. We're going to be introducing people. They're going to be telling their favorite Nappy Head Funk Army story, telling people how they got down in it. Thank you, Dr. Brookenstein. Yes, it's an amazing thing to happen, to be honored in the Funk Hall of Fame. And ironically, we wrote that song Fly on the Wall back then. And little did we know it was going to be, we were going to be a fly on the wall in the Hall of Funk. So that just goes to show how the universe works. It was the right time. It was the right place. We all got together on the right vibe. And we all kind of came together like a nice, holiday meal. Some people brought the mac and cheese. Some people brought the ham. Some people brought the ribs. Some brought the mashed potatoes and gravy. Some brought, the liquid beverages. Some brought the 420. Whatever it took, we all blended together, man. And this band was and is the best band that I ever had the pleasure of performing with, working with, bonding with, as well as some of the people that I'm working with now. Of course, the Nappy Head Funk Army 2.0. I love you guys, and your day will come. And also Tony Cam and the Funk All-Stars. Yo, bro, if I'm going in, you going in. That's how it works. So, a lot of the times that we spent reflecting and reminiscing, you're going to hear, because we do that individually on the phone, but you're going to hear those stories today. I want to thank my producer, Mr. Mark Lee, and everything that he's done for the past 4 years. And you can look behind me and see over here, over this shoulder, right? One of the things that Curtis Wilcox did, and then up top, another one that George the Funkavinci did. And of course, my guy Ken Frank sent me the collage of all the Funketeers. So believe me, all the Funketeers, all the fallen Funketeers, from my mother, my father, for everybody and anybody that I ever crossed paths with. My guy, Jeff Roberson, boom. Al down in Florida, Leroy down in Florida. Yo, we all going in. Because if one of us gets in, we all get in. It's the community that we're thinking about. Ms. Pat DeLaurier will be joining us later. Her band, Daughter Judy, and of course, everything that everybody else worked with, and Prez and Kevin. You'll get to meet all these people, man. They're all beautiful people. And we've actually been able to, maintain our friendships and our family ships, and maintain our conversations and help each other out with music, and be able to support and also be able to promote each other's brands and music, and just our families and what we're doing. Kudos to Cynthia, she lost her sister, and Eric J, I love you for that, man. That's family too, but she's a Hall of Famer now. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in whoever is here. Mr. Mark Lee, whoever is here can come up, can get in where they fit in. I see Eric J is in the house. What up, Jay?
What's good, fam?
How you doing, man?
I'm hanging, man. I'm, making it do, making everything happen like I usually do.
making everything happen like you used to do. Yo, man, so tell me. Yeah. I'm watching you spin up top, watching you do your thing, and you've been working a lot with a lot of the I call them pro school hip hop artists,
Yeah.
And y'all been doing a lot of concerts and everything, man. So kudos to you for that, bro. Kudos to you.
I stay tight with like guys from the first chamber of Shaolin and hip hop, man. Guys I know from the 70s, that really laid the foundation for everything that's going on 50 plus years later.
Yeah.
And we sit around and we joke about the old days too, because those days was something else, man. And not a lot of people was doing it in those days. And we watched it, expand from people's basements and the boys clubs and that kind of stuff, the Ecstasy Garage and T Connection and Bronx River and all them kind of spots and the block parties to being a worldwide phenomenon, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we're thankful for that.
That's right. We're going to get into all things Nappy in a minute, but I can tell you when I knew hip hop was going to be around. I told people back then, right? I was doing a wedding band, and people wanted to hear this and that and the third. And then, I told people then, I was like, listen, man, things are going to change because the minute older adults hate something is when it stays. Like our parents hated rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? And then bang, it stayed. Some of them didn't really feel the funk vibe, then bang, it stayed. As soon as Muggs started saying, oh man, hip hop ain't gonna be here. I hate rap, I hate this. I was like, you just fucked up. I said, because now it's gonna stay because it's a revolution. So I just wanted to add that. But today is about all things Nappy, man, and all things funky with the Nappy Head Funk Army, and being able to have this day is special for me. So, man, real quick, tell our listening audience how you just came about, because I'm gonna tell how I saw you with the band, but tell how you actually came about in the funk first before you even met us.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I like to say peace to Dr. Bruckenstein, man. Dr. Bruckenstein's been with us from like day one. He's been a soldier. So peace to you, Dr. Bruckenstein. Always love, man. I haven't talked to you in a while, but you know how we do. We get up, it's like yesterday. And I want to say thank you to my lovely wife, Cynthia, for holding me down, over the years. And she's been with us, and as a Nappy Head soldier too, and that's been a blessing for all of us in this situation. But, with the funk, man, I got started with the funk as a kid. My father bought a 45 of Parliament up for the downstroke.
Yeah.
And, I took that 45. I had a record player in my room, and how I used to put the record on the record player, and it would just play over and over again, get to the end, and needle would come back and start over.
Yeah.
I up for the downstroke for hours, man. That record just got to me. And then, one day they threw a block party behind our building, and as we were leaving the block party, I heard "We Want the Funk" for the first time.
Right.
And that record blew me away, man, because it's the way the groove was, and then you had Bernie playing keys, and it sounded like a church, and then you had the voices, it sounded like a church choir, and it was all about the funk. So I got stuck right in, and then I became a real heavy fan then, and then in '78 they came to town, and my father took me to see them at the Palladium, man, and that was like. that was the One Nation Under Groove tour, and I was converted that night. I mean, that's all you couldn't tell me nothing else about P-Funk after that, because I was like, man, ain't nobody touching what these guys is doing. They on stage on roller skates, and they was just cranking, man.
Elephants.
Yeah.
Spaceships.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah. So you start, I was a teenager, so you go out, you start buying album covers, the albums, and you sit there and you reading the album covers and all the science they were dropping on the album covers through the artwork and everything, and you're listening to the records, and George is feeding you with a lot of food for thought, and and all the songs is just crazy, all the beats and the bass lines and everything. You couldn't tell me nothing about P-Funk, man. You know, so I've been a fan of P-Funk for about 50 years.
Yo, man, let me tell you. And as we welcome in, who we got here? Oh, my guy, Kev. What up, bro? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Yo, you muted.
Yeah, I can't hear you either, Kev.
We can't hear you. Unmute. Let me try to unmute you.
All right. Technical.
You there? Yeah, go out and come back. Yeah, Kevin gonna go out and come back. But yeah, man, finish telling your story, man. Buying the albums.
Yeah, the album covers, man. Like when I bought the One Nation Under Groove album, you know, you open it up and it's like all these words. You got to sit there and absorb all of that. So I would sit there for hours reading all that. And you look at the artwork, it's so intricate, and you know, Pedro Bell would put stuff in, you know, real small. You have to really concentrate and look at it and be like, man, this guy's he's dropping a lot of science here, man. You know. So, you know,
yeah, I agree, man. We're hanging out today with Eric G, OG member now, you know, Funk Hall of Famer. You know, you can put that on your tag and keep it on your resume. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm still giddy about it, so forgive me. But yeah, so yeah, man. It's funny because back then they used to always play, you know, the P-Funk or the music that they was coming out with kind of like towards the middle or the end of the party. You didn't really hear it at first. And then you would hear this thing, and it was so different from everything else that they was playing. And only the hip DJs was playing it. And, you know, at least in like where I was at, like most of the time when I was coming up on Long Island, there was one of few that knew about the funk. And that's who I gravitated to, you know. And I was like, okay, you guys are, you know, this guy, my drummer friend, Bobby Threadgill, and he's the reason why I got into drums, my hero from Bayshore, Long Island. Shout out Bayshore. He turned me on to, you know, Mothership Connection. But ironically, before that, Tyrone Jenkins and Wayne Jenkins and their family had turned me on to America Eats is Young, right? Yeah. And bro, I'm gonna tell you something. And God's honest truth, I love that album so much, I stole it from them because they didn't know what they had. It was just sitting in the thing, dusty in the rotation, and they would rarely play it, right? So one day I said, Wayne, let me borrow your Funkadelic album. And he said, which one? I said, the one with the dollar bill, right? So he lent it to me. I just never gave it back.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I had records going missing out of my collection over the years, you know, and it's not a good feeling when you realize your joint is gone.
Yeah, you're right about that. And the thing is, I used to tell him, listen, you can come over and listen to it anytime you want. But they wasn't really into Funkadelic. They had just bought it because they lived in the city, and every time something new came out, they would buy it. When they moved to Long Island, we had to search and hunt for P-Funk albums. We had to go to like where the Black Towns were. I had to go all the way to Queens sometimes to buy a Funkadelic album. Because the record stores on Long Island, they was basically like just selling bullshit. You know, they were selling good stuff, but it wasn't that, you know. But yeah, man. So thank you, Wayne Jenkins. You're a big part of that, man. So when you were, you know, hanging out and coming up, and where you from to begin with?
I'm originally from the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx, there were houses, and we lived there from like 65 to 76. Then we moved to Mount Vernon. Okay. And so that's when I really started getting into recording and performing and all of that kind of thing.
Right. So coming up in Mount Vernon and New York and everything else, man, obviously, you know, we had access to all the clubs and all the things that we could as far as musical geniuses walking the street, you know. When you and I first met, right, I had probably seen you a few times at the Wetlands, but you wasn't in Nappy Head yet. But tell us how you got into Nappy Head.
Well, it was funny because I remember you coming to Lola's, and I was performing with Solstice at that time.
Yes.
I think that was like the first time I met you.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, because I think at that time, John Purvis used to play with us too. At that time, John floated in and out of Solstice too in that band, and he told me about y'all when the first gig came up at the Lions did for George Clinton's birthday party. So
Yeah.
I wasn't a member of your band or nothing like that. I just came down there because it was George Clinton's birthday party, and John was playing with y'all in Nappy Head, so I got to see y'all first hit.
Wow.
And,
I don't even remember meeting yet. Wow, that's some deep stuff.
Yeah, I didn't meet nobody in the band, nothing. I was just in the club chilling. I had to leave like around. Oh man, I think I left like 10 after 1 because I had to catch the last train back up the way because I had to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
That's how I make my paper. They ain't no going to stop me from making my paper. So after I left, they said George came in and everything, and I was like, oh man, if I had to go to work, I could have met George that night.
Yeah, he did get there late. He was coming from at least 3 other parties.
Yeah, because that was his actual birthday. Was July 22nd.
Yes, it was. That's right. That night was surreal because we first of all, it was man, what's the brother? Craig Ajamu?
Yeah.
He asked me that like 3 weeks before that, like would I like to play for George Clinton's birthday party? And I was like, yeah, man, for sure. I was like, but I don't have a band. I thought he meant play with him. And he's like, no, man, can you put together a funk band? I was like, yep. I didn't even know if I could or not, but I wasn't going to turn down that opportunity, right? So, George, like he was always, of course, him and Bootsy and Bernie, they were always like on my wall, I was looking at these people like, damn, these are my heroes, right?
Yeah, they were my. Well, yeah.
So I asked Gary, the original bass player, and John Purvis. I had knew him from hanging out with Vince, the bass player in Staten Island when I moved there. So I had asked Gary about it, and then we knew Judy because Judy, myself, and Gary, and this guy named Andy had played in a cover band. So I knew Judy could sing. And then Daryl Johnson, unsung hero on keyboards, right? I asked him, right? So we put together a little set, and we was opening up, and then also the Clones of Funk was second, and then Funkin' was third. So that was the lineup. So we were just grateful to be on that lineup, man. And I was like, it don't get no better than this, No, and I got a picture that we're gonna show later from that night with me, like photobombing George,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I remember. You tell your story when you finally actually sang with us for the first time.
Well, I'm not sure how much more time after that, but y'all were gigging at the Elbow Room, and John Purvis called me up. He said, "Yo, man, I want you to come down, man, and sit in with this band, man. It's right up your alley. You'd be perfect for this band." And I was like,
you know what though? It was before that. It was in the basement of Wetlands.
Nah, that was after that.
That was after that?
That was after that.
Okay. Wow. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I came down to the Elbow Room, and it was like 2 opening bands that was, rock bands playing. And on the second, they had a second floor. And John said, "Yo, come upstairs, check out this other band." And it was just a band up there just playing like straight up funky grooves. And then he said, "Yo, man, the guy that's like the maitre d' of the club, he jumps on stage with them and he starts doing some things sound like James Brown." So we were checking it out, not knowing this guy was going to be one of my in-laws. A couple years later, that was kind of ill that to figure that out years later back. And then there was time for Nappy Head to go up. So I went up and John introduced me to you, and you was like, "All right, man, we're gonna set you up over here next to the drum riser, and sing the parts that if you don't know the parts, don't sing nothing. If you know something, just join in. And I got a bag over here with a whole bunch of hats, man. Play these hats." All right. I was like, "All right, cool." So I remember the first song was I think "Fly on the Wall" or something like that. And no, Funk 'em if they can't take a joke.
Wow.
I started doing the chant, and I just fell right in. I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Wow. See, now I don't. Wow. See, now you're telling me something that I even forgot, bro. Because yeah, man, I remember because I didn't realize John played with us at the Elbow Room in the beginning.
Yeah.
For some reason, my Elbow Room memories only start with President everybody was there.
Okay.
I forgot that. Wow. That's great. That's good to know. That's I'm glad you archived that for me, bro. That's good to know. Because all I remember, right? You just hanging out on the side of wetlands, and I was like, yo, come up here. That's what I remember.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, that was even a little bit more down the line.
That was down the line.
Yeah, because I did this first hit with y'all, and I was set up right behind John Purvis, and you had Kev playing drums, you had Gary on the bass,
right,
and John Willis was on the other side of the stage playing guitar, and you had Prez and Eric playing keyboards, and that other brother was singing on background too.
Fred.
Yeah, Fred. He sang background as well, and it was you and Tanya up front. So,
right. Okay. I'm trying to see what this thing is. Mark, do you know what that is that was on the screen? I'm sorry. I don't know where Mark is, my producer. All right, we good, bro. I'm trying to see what in the world. Love something. Oh, Ken Frank, he did a comment. I see. That's what it is. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, so wow. That's some deep stuff because I kind of at that point wasn't sure if we were going to sustain anything. Yo, Mark, you back there, bro? I'm trying to get this comment off that Ken Frank got up. I don't know why it's stuck up there on the screen. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, if you could pull that off for me, that'd be dope. I know what it is. I know where it's from. Hold on. Let me block this out. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Hang out real quick. Sir Nose is always going to try to wreak havoc when something really cool is happening. That's just what he does. I'm serious, bro. That's what he does, man. I'm telling you right now. All the time. You know, whenever something cool is happening, Sir Nose be trying to get in. So tell me, man, when we first started, doing it and everything, did you think that we would actually end up here today?
Nah. Nah, man. I don't have a crystal ball, nothing like that, man. I'm just, it's just weird to be, in a place where they want to recognize you.
Yeah. It is. It's a beautiful thing. I think that, over the years, we've all been trying to hold down the funk, right? And, as much as we've all been blessed to continue to do it all together and still be able to, pat each other on the back and, be able to, keep the funk alive and be able to, I still don't know what this is. I'm sorry. I apologize to my audience because I don't know why this is still there. It shouldn't be there. Do you see that, Eric J?
No, I don't see that.
You don't see the Facebook love Ken Frank thing?
No, I don't see that.
Well, then that's good because all I know is it's in my way. Right? I'm good with it. It's cool. But it's in my way. I don't know why that's even stuck there. But, just to be able to continue to still do it. Yeah, Mark, I know, but the comment is still in my way. He gave me love. I see that. But if you could pull that. So for some reason, it's stuck on my screen. So I can't enlarge my screen and, I can't. So it's acting really weird. So I don't know what that's about. Like I said, Sir Nose is always trying to mess with things. And we was waiting on Kevin. Kevin had went out and tried to get back in. So we're waiting on him. And whoever else can actually tune in would be great too. But we're hanging out with Eric J, OG, AKA designated hitter for the funk. And we appreciate this brother coming on, his longevity with the Nappy Head Funk Army. He's been a true funk soldier forever and forever and forever. So, we're going to definitely give kudos to him and kudos to, everybody else that can make it. And I got a list of people of names I'm going to run down. We're going to do a special shout out to our guy, Carlton Collier, man. Tell us real quick, how did you meet Carlton?
Oh, man, because I can't remember exactly when you brought him in, but it's like the first time he played with Nappy Head, he was holding it down, and plus he had a Mutron, man. So it took it to another, gave it a whole nother real boosty sound. That Carlton was nasty on the bass, man.
Yeah,
I had bad love for Carlton, And I remember him saying to me one time, he said, "Yo, Eric, man," he said, "I know the band is really cooking, man. When you take a break and stay on the side of the stage and smoke a cigarette." He said, "I know we smoking in, man." I said, "Wow, Carlton, good looks, man."
That when we first put the second coming of the Nappy Head Funk Army together, it was amazing. Hey, yo, Mark, you back there, bro? Pop on for a second, man. I got to go out and come back in. My screen is jacked. You back there, Mark? All right. I'm going to tell him I got to pop out and come back in because something is messing with my screen, and I know it's only Sir knows, because I know how devoid of funk acts. This is a devoid of funk act. It's totally like a Facebook thing or something. But for our audience out there, as long as you can't see it, I'm good to go. As long as you can see me, I'm good to go. When we first started to perform, it was so many great bands. John Willis had his band. You had yours. Prez and Pearl was always playing with everybody. And it was amazing to go to Wetlands, the Izzy Bar. Remember the Izzy Bar?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I played the Izzy Bar with Dave as a band called Butter. We were there like once every month, something like that, for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, the Izzy Bar, for these places, that actually, we're talking about, they were the underground places, the Elbow Room, the Red Lion, the Lions Den, the Izzy Bar, these were places that, besides CBGBs, that bands cut their teeth. They can actually go there, work on material, meet other people, stuff like that. So it was an amazing time to be an original, musician. The BRC was standing, coming hard, and it was just an amazing time, man. Tell us some of your better Nappy Head Funk Army stories.
Oh man, I can remember nights, man, like when Prez be doing the solo and keyboard stand would break and the whole setup would hit the ground and he would stay in the pocket and not lose beat or nothing. He still have his solo going on, man. There's some real soldiers in this band. No matter what it took to get it done, we got it done. And I was just happy to be there, man. It was, because I came on board, just as a backup singer and became like one of the main characters that people used to like. So, I was just out there having a party, having a good time, and we made a couple of dollars doing it too.
Yeah. Pickens was slim.
Yo, you remember that night that Prez's keyboard stand fell? And and he hit the ground and kept the beat going and did not lose nothing. Unbelievable, man.
Yo, there was a time I remember, like at the Elbow Room especially, we didn't go on until like 1:30, 2 o'clock. We used to play till like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I got a picture of you hanging out at the Elbow Room, and we used to call it the aftermath because remember we used to have those poppers and parachutes and all the crap we was throwing out. And the lady was like, "Yo, I like your band, but you give us too much shit to clean up after."
Yeah, it was like Mardi Gras when we played.
Every gig we wanted to have a party, man. It was when I first, and again, I have a good memory, but I don't remember how half the people, their first gig, like I don't remember Carlton's first gig with us. I just know that I needed a bass player, and I think Prez might have recommended him. And Prez said, "Oh yeah, this guy Carlton can play."
Yeah, I really don't remember his first gig coming in because he just seemed like he was there for a long time.
Right, he was always there. Yeah,
it's like when it's like Gary kind of like fell back and Carlton just was there.
Yeah,
I don't remember how he joined the band or anything like that. I just remember him just always holding down that bottom like he did.
yeah. Same. Because I know Gary was a caregiver for his mom, and his mom got ill. Rest in peace, Dorothy Bordes. That's why he had to fall back. He really wanted to play, because I used to talk to him all the time because he was the OG. But he had other responsibilities to take care of, and kudos to Gary's for that. But yeah, I remember just looking at Carlton, and he was always tripping over stuff. Right? I loved it to death. And I said, Carlton, why are you tripping over? He's like, because I'm clumsy. I was like, I said, all right, as long as you can play, right? But when we were cutting our teeth, do you remember that little tiny room on Sunrise Highway in Baldwin?
Yeah.
Where this old lady came in one night, and we had our dog tags, and I gave her my dog tags.
Yeah, you and John.
John. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. And
that place had some magic in it.
Yeah, I remember us playing Knee Deep in there and killing it, man. It sounded just like the record, man.
Yeah. One thing I can say about all the musicians, top notch, of course, worldwide, travelers and things that they've done. I was fortunate that everybody kind of wanted to blend in and do it and just be a part as opposed to be the main character, because really we could all be main characters in our own story. But in that thing, we all just had to be, supporting characters. And it seemed to the creator of the universe, the spaceship brought us together at the right time.
Yeah, man. Everybody played their position well, like a baseball team. And fun, man.
Yeah. Yo, Mark, are you back there? Yo, what up, Ken? I got you, man. Thank you, man. Man, love it. I got your poster right over my shoulder here. Mark, you back there? Because I want to start popping up some of these pictures. I guess people are popping if they can. If they can, it's cool. They can go back and watch it, man. I know Kev tried to get in. Forgive that ambulance going by. I'm on kind of a major street here. But let me see where Mark is back there. I think he's having issues too. Sir Knows really trying to mess this show up, but we ain't gonna let that happen because it's too much positivity, too much funk. What I'm gonna do while we're waiting and hanging out, right? And for those of you tuning in, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. You guys have been major supporters, of what we do, and I can't thank you enough for supporting Funk from the Front Seat and supporting our brand and Nappy Head Funk Army. And, yes, David Brooks and Ken Frank, thank you so much, man. You guys are a huge part of the funk circles, man. How did you meet Brooks?
I met Dr. Bruckenstein at the Elbow Room.
Oh, that night?
Yeah, because,
okay.
He was down front the whole time.
Yeah. One thing I like about Dr. Bruckenstein, his honesty with the reviews, because that always pushed us to be better, Because, when you're first coming out, you're going to have some pitfalls and bad nights and things like that, man. So when he used to send me reviews, I was like, yeah, man, cool. That's exactly what happened. Oh, Port Jazz. Thank you, Dr. Brooks. I knew you would remember. I knew. That's the place I was thinking about on Long Island, Port Jazz. That place, we did some things up in there because they never expected that.
Oh, they didn't expect. They wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, and I ain't even gonna get into the Funky Fish to the second half of the show because there's some tales of the Funky Fish that I have to tell. But when we first started blending and cutting our teeth, it took us about 1.5 years to get right.
Yeah,
and then that third year, that's when we did the festivals, the Harry Chapin Theater, the Amsterdam Avenue Street Festival. That happened, when we had that little stint with Bette Davis and stuff. So that's when the band had really tightened all the screws and became a Maserati, because at that time we was a force to be reckoned with, even though we were in New York and Long Island. Like people used to come up to us and say, yo, man, y'all are doing stuff that I never heard before. We used to do Prince. That's how we met Gerard. He's like, oh, man, I only came to see y'all because y'all did Prince, and Sexy MF and stuff like that. And, and mix that in with our original stuff. All I know is when I was thinking about the recording process, looking back, I only wish that I had did more stuff at Kev's at the time, because he actually had that ear for the sound, but because he was in and out and came back later, and that's when we did Revolution, I missed that window. And that's one thing that I always regret. But other than that, man, I think it's been a beautiful ride that we can continue our brand. And we, as OGs, are not done yet. Let me check and see who else is down here on the bottom, because Mark is doing something, and I don't know where he is. Oh, who else? Oh, Pat's here. Miss Pat.
Hi. I just want to be a fly on the wall in the Hall of Funk. Thank you.
Kudos to you.
What's up, Pat?
What's up, Eric J?
How you doing?
I was listening on my way home from work.
Cool, yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. For you that don't know out there, our audience, Miss Pat Dioria, she was the very first. She's the OG, and now
got
she's
my tags.
There you go. Yo, that's what's up.
I still got my dog tags.
There you go.
Hey, Dr. Brookenstein.
And we ain't even done yet. We just getting started, because we got more shit to do. That's why I keep telling you, yo, hang tough.
I know. I'm trying. Life's been a trip so far, but
hey, the journey. It's the journey, right?
It is.
So tell us, where you at right now? Where you living at?
I'm in Provincetown, Massachusetts. And it's good. It's like way out on the tip of Cape Cod.
Right.
And it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's rough for funk music.
Yeah.
They're all into like bluegrass and folk and like old mellow 70s music. And I'm like, So, but there's a couple of bands out here. We have a band called Funktopus. They're pretty cool.
Right.
But it's nothing like New York,
Yeah. Don't we all miss New York, man?
Yeah.
Because down here, North Carolina, I'm trying to create a movement that ain't here. Even though George Clinton was born in Kannapolis, an hour away from me. But it's coming along. I'm working with Oak City Music Collective, and this is major, with David Webb and all of us, OGs, So tell us your story. Start with Daughter Judy, because I played drums for you there first.
Actually, I don't think so. I think I was still in Daughter Judy. I was trying to think when you guys were talking about all the shows and everything. I think I came down. I knew Pearl, because we used to work next to each other in the mall at Green Acres Mall in Long Island when we were younger. And I didn't know he was into funk. And I was playing with Daughter Judy one night, and I saw him standing on the street holding a keyboard. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, I'm playing a gig. And I was like, okay. And then I think he turned me on to the fact that you had a show at Kenny's Castaways, I want to say.
Oh, my God.
And there was another singer. There was a girl there. Like, a girl sang with you, but she wasn't with you very long. I think she might have done that one gig. And I saw you, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And so I was still playing with Daughter Judy, I think, at the time. And then I can't remember my first gig.
For you at the CBGB's gallery with Daughter Judy once.
Yeah, no, I think it was Wetlands we played at upstairs.
Was it Wetlands?
On that side where it was me, you. That was 151. We called it.
Yes.
You. That was after Daughter Judy broke up. Eric Cavanulo was my guitar player, and Pearl was on keyboards. Okay. And we did some songs. We went in the studio and played some songs together. It was fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See, my memory's mush. Every day told me stuff. I'm like, really? That happened?
Who are you telling? Yeah.
All I know is your voice of an angel, and David Brooks actually has that original CD that we recorded with our original stuff on it that I have to get to you, man. But your voice was always special to me. You had a special place in the band because you brought in that rawness, that Joplin. You were just such a different kind of spirit, and the band was growing and modulating into other things. And I just always appreciate your dedication to what we did. And then you came back when we were doing Port Jazz and everything. And all of that stuff, man, led us to today. So cheers. Here's to you.
Yeah.
Day and whoever else, man. So what do you think your reaction is to being a Funk Hall of Famer. Like, what is your reaction to it?
I love it because I did just want to be a fly in the wall of funk. That's awesome, you know. And I learned so much about funk music. I think John Holohan from Daughter Judy, who was the drummer in that project, he was into P Funk, and like that was kind of where I really started hearing a lot of it. And I was like, oh, who is that? Like, I mean, I knew the basic, like the hits and everything, but. And then, you know, then I came down to your gig and then I was like, oh, I got to learn all this music. And I was like, okay. And then I was just like mind blown, you know, like just wasn't in my my windshield. And I wasn't seeing or hearing that on the radio. And I was like, oh my God, this music is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like I knew James Brown and some other stuff and like the disco kind of funk, but not P Funk. And I mean, I always loved Bootsy, you know, but I probably, you know, from like the fact that he played with D-Light on Bruises in the Heart. And I was like, oh, Bootsy's the guy from P Funk. I was like, oh! Yeah. And it was just all such a great learning experience. And it was like music that just like I totally connected to. And I think my voice, oddly enough, sounded good with it. I didn't know if it would because I'm kind of like raspy and you know, and then I thought I was just going to be singing backgrounds, and you let me sing Cosmic Slop and Red Hot Mama, which was always fun.
Try.
What? I don't think that might have been Tanya. I think Tanya. Oh, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was us. That's when Neil was in the band. Then Neil, I had to get him away. Remember Neil at the Elbow Room, Hazel?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did a version of When Doves Cry. Yeah, remember him? I was like, Neil, you can't be assaulting my band members on stage.
That was funny.
Yeah, he had some games back then.
There you go, Kev.
You can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
He did.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, you in, Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How's everybody?
I'm all right, man. We're hanging out today with some OGs for the Nappy Head Funk Army, Eric J. Of course, Miss Pat Dioria, you know, and your artwork is always, you know, prevalent and around. And of course, you know, Kevin Harrington, man. So Kev, we was just sitting here kicking it, man. Tell us a little bit about, you know, who you are and where you come from, bro.
Oh, I'm a native of Jamaica, Queens, New York. Funking for Jamaica. The drummer, heart, multiple instruments, you know. That's who I am. Now I'm a G-Dad. That's how long I've been here. I'm a G-Dad now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Longevity, like Martin Luther King said, longevity has its
right.
Look at us. See, here we are. We all still here, man.
I think we all look good.
Yeah, we're going to pay homage to Carlton. As soon as my producer, Mark Lee, comes back from doing whatever he was doing back there. Sir Nose was messing with this show the whole time, but it's all good. So, Kev, we was talking about that glorious time, BRC, Wetlands, you know, CBGBs, Elbow, Izzy, you know. Tell us your feeling about that era of when everybody could just connect musically and spiritually.
Well, it was great times. I know that. It was an innovative time, and I don't know. It's something that's never coming back to New York. I know that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So we were blessed to be in that era because the musicians that came behind us, they're never going to get that.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's never going to. And you know, and again, it makes us sound like the OGs because we'll be talking about it.
It's like you kids just don't understand.
Right. You know, and again, I don't think it has anything to do with music. It was more economics where the places were closing. You know, you go to the Village now, it's nothing like, you know what I'm saying? Again, you sound like the OGs, it's nothing like when we were coming up.
Nah.
You know, when we was doing our thing, it's just not the same. You know, I mean, depending on how old they are, they don't know nothing about 48th Street. Something as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like to go on a block of nothing but music stores and all the stories and people that, you know, celebrities you met and stuff like that. They ain't gonna know nothing about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be, at the time, everything was going on. 30th Street, whole building and nothing but studios, whole day.
Ultrasound, yeah.
Right.
Yo,
Daily Planet, you go in there, Patrice Russian's coming out, that type of thing. We ain't never gonna see that again.
Yeah.
I think that inspired us to be, because everybody here on this panel right now,
right,
blessed in a tremendous way with the gift of music that we are obligated to share some way, somehow, some fashion and form. And like you said, man, I remember, going and seeing Dennis Chambers like right next to me.
right.
It's impossible.
Right. Someplace like the Bottom Line and stuff like that, man. All that's just gone. I mean, you just walk and you really just show your age. Like, oh, I remember when this used to be here and this used to be here, and tell stories. And I'm glad to have the stories to tell.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? Right. If I was one of the younger ones now, I'd be upset. I go, man, I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you real quick. I know you're sporting your apparel. What does that say up there?
Oh, that's just KHX.
Okay. And that's part of your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you watching, everybody up here got their brand, Aquarius Rising Art. Of course, Pat, I'm constantly promoting you every week. I shout you out.
Aquarius Rising Graphics, yeah.
Yeah, man, I got you, man. And, Eric J doing his thing. And see, I don't know how we all kind of melted in that pot of Nappy Head, but all I kept thinking all along through my marriage, my divorce, my surgeries, it was always meant to be somehow.
Right.
And that's the spirit that kind of kept me going. All of you kept me going. So thank you, man. That's why I'm honored to even honor us. Because it's all about that.
Yeah. And Thea, I like to say I'm honored to have become part of Nappy Head Funk Army because I actually came at the end of everything. So, I got in there.
You can thank Ainsley, the church seat drummer, for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Where's Ainsley? Yeah.
You put your foot down, Kev.
Thanks,
when Kev came in, though, we went to another level. You and Prez and Andy, y'all came in at the end.
Okay. See, I didn't know how that went. I just knew that everybody else was already there. That I knew. Yeah. So
I tell you how
long anybody had been there. Nothing.
I tell you how it went. Pearl couldn't play all the parts by himself. He said, "Yo, I got another guy that needs to be in this." I said, "Tell him to come to the gig," because you knew me. I was just like, "Just come to the gig.
Right.
just show up." And here's an interesting story. Mark Bass, when we started doing double bass, added a lot as well. So when the whole thing got rolling and we were able to sustain our 4 or 5 year period, and then, like I said, Miss Pat, you came back to do Port Jazz and stuff with us. That's when I kind of knew it was at its peak because there were no more places to perform.
Right.
That's what hurt us back then. We couldn't travel. There was no budget. We literally ran out because the Funky Fish was getting ready to close. We literally closed that place.
Right.
And Long Island, we were doing festivals more outside. But thank God, even though Beth Davis screwed us around, we did the Amsterdam Avenue Street Festival. I'm so grateful for that one day. Pat, you wasn't there, but thank God the brand did that because that was like a major thing that we could hold a large group of people in the Harriet Chapman Theater as well, and all back then we would have needed was the funding. Funding. But
what was the room we did when we opened up for Vernon Reed and them? What was that room?
Oh, David Brooks would know that room. I forgot the room.
That was that was called the Downtown.
Yeah.
Oh, on Long Island?
Yeah.
They were sponsored by Sam Ash, so that made all the difference. The back line was on point.
Right.
Yeah.
I played there, not with you guys, but that was a good place.
Yeah.
You know what, too? We also did it, now that you mentioned it, with Jen Durkin and Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I believe we did it with them first.
DBB, man. I love that band.
But you know what? I remember that night I had to play bass. Remember? Because Carlton couldn't make it. Gary couldn't make it.
Yeah, I remember that night. That was
so I had to end up playing bass. And I remember standing on the edge trying to sing Dirty Van and play at the same time.
Damn, I wish I was still with you guys at that point, because I love Jen Durkin, and I think she's one of the best voices like ever. She's so good.
Yeah. You see, you and Jen Durkin were like the same people, Pat.
We were similar. Yeah.
Spirits.
I actually auditioned for Deep and Out of Blackout when she left. And I don't know what happened there. I think they just wanted to go a different way, and I sounded a lot like her, so they went with a different.
But you know what though? It wasn't your fault, because I tell you, with that band, it was a lot of politics. I swear to God, nothing against them. But there was some stuff going on that we didn't really know about behind the scenes, because they, from what I understand, now this is not me talking out of school. This is just the word on the street. They were upset with her when she went and sang with Bernie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Every J would know. Every J would know. Hold on 1 second, Mike. Okay, great. I know you're ready. Thank you. Right, Eric J? Because when she went, Bernie found her. He didn't take them. He took her.
Yeah.
So they got kind of, when she came back and wanted to still do stuff back and forth with them, they did it reluctantly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I know, because I had talked to her, because I was trying to get her to do some stuff in the studio. Right? When I had went and seen Bernie, I was like, "Oh, you with Bernie?" I was like, "Yo, can you sing?" Because I got Sheila. I was trying to get people different voices. So I think, Pat, that had nothing to do with you.
Well, it was disappointing, but I got to tell you too, though, when I went to see them, they were like, come to Connecticut. And I went to see their show, and it was just a packed house, and the whole crowd was just jumping up and down at once. And they were like, come on up if you feel like singing. I was like, whoa, I honestly was scared. And I was like, oh, damn, girl, you got to get your confidence. But it was intimidating, because they really had it down. And I really liked that band a lot. And Jen was amazing. She was still singing with it at the time, but they were kind of transitioning, and they would let people come up and sing. It was fun. It was very much like when we would do a gig. Like I remember one gig, though, we played at Kenny's Castaways, and I don't know if you were with us yet, Eric or Kevin. And
I wasn't part of the band, but I was in the house.
Yeah, probably. And then we played, and the second band canceled, Zach, you remember this. And so we played for 3 hours, and I happened to decide to wear leather pants that night. Pleather pants, because I couldn't afford the real leather ones. And I was soaked, we just jumped up, and I loved the energy that Nappy Head Funk Army always had on stage, and everybody was so good. The first time I saw you play, I wasn't on the stage. I just checked it out, and you did Unk Funky in the UFO, and it was the first time I ever saw Eric Wilson do that funk face, and I was like, wow. And I was like, that is so good. And then you're playing drums, and you're playing bass, and you're singing, and we had the hat bag. I heard you guys talking about the bag of hats, me and Tanya was awesome to sing with too. It was just so much fun, and I always loved it. And, even though I love Daughter Judy and wish that had worked out, it wasn't the same kind of just spiritually just letting go of everything. I didn't even feel like I was on the ground. It was awesome to sing. So
I remember Funky Tim too.
Yeah, Tim with his sax.
He's like, I play saxophone. I was like, get up here.
Yeah. That was fun. We gave him a hat, and we just put him up on the stage.
And you know what's ironic? He was a martial artist, and later on, John Willis came in, who was a martial artist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He got me into martial arts a little bit. I wish I had kept up with it, because you can't see it, but I've gotten a little wider over the years.
Beautiful queen. Come on, now you're a beautiful queen.
Hey, I earned every pound, so it was so much fun. So much fun.
Queen. And we ain't done yet. That's why.
No, I don't feel done. I don't feel done. So if anybody needs some vocals, let me know.
We're gonna be doing some stuff together.
I'm trying to
I'm
get
working
back
on
to it. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to it.
I'm working on the budget now. I really. Look who it is. Always coming from a gig, I'm sure. You know, drop down and give me 10, soldier.
Hi, honey.
What up, bro?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Drop down and give me 10.
Tim
Hey man. Hey man, I can't even give you 10. I can't even give you 1.
I want give me that 1 then. I want it.
I said I
How
can't
you
even
doing?
give you 1. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm hanging in there, fighting a good fight. Actually,
I know you're probably tired. You gigged or whatever, man. So I'm sure. You play last night?
Nah, man. I was just chilling, but actually got a hit with Mark this afternoon. At 6, so I'll have to scoop him up. Probably leave to scoop him up around 3:30 or something like that.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So how you been doing? You all right?
Yeah, man. Just trying to keep the dream alive of no 9 to 5.
Yeah. Oh,
Ain't
tell
we
me
all? Ain't we all, bro? But check this out. From this day forward, you a Funk Hall of Famer. So welcome. So
Yes, sir.
And for those that don't know, these are the OGs as they pop in. And from our listening audience out there, man, thank you for joining Funk from the Front Seat. 9 on the Grind TV every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of these brothers and sisters have been on the show before in their own accolades, right? But this gentleman, Pearl, was kind of the key to open up that Queens door, because you were the one that started saying, "Hey, Prez, you knew Kevin. I don't know if you knew Carlton, because I think Prez brought Carlton. But tell us your thoughts first on that time of the era that we were talking about before we get into your Nappy Head story about the Village and that era and how glorious things were."
I mean, yeah, it was a good time for live music, and there were a lot of venues that were open, like to, try to cultivate that whole scene. So, I mean, I was just kind of making the rounds, and then I met you, I think through Craig Ajamu, and and then we did a gig at the Lions Den, where you had some like some P-Funk alumni, I suppose, or people that were related to some of those cats in some way. And John Willis had actually come to that gig out of support, just to check it out. But it was it was a little loose, to say the least. But I mean, like, hey man, like I guess the cats who were there, they had been there in one form or another, like with George and whomever was doing it, but they never got to that maybe that level that George was on. And they probably and once you get a taste of it, it's like, man, that's what I want to do. So they were hanging on by any means necessary. But I mean, it's all good. And once we did that, John saw it, and he felt like that he could be a part of it. And yeah, that was that. Then the story begins. I mean, because we had you were playing drums.
Yeah.
At that. you were leading it from the drum chair.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. I don't get credit for that, but thank you.
That's not easy to do. Yeah. Right.
And so yeah, it was just like I think you wanted to come out front, and then I think whatever, Kev came in so that you could come out front. I had spoken to Prez about it at the top of the game. It wasn't Carlton, it was Stroh. But Stroh's in Vegas now. I think he left Nappy Head to do that.
Right. Wow, I forgot him. Wow. Wow.
Right. To do that sort of, I think he went to Miami first, and had some stuff happening down there at the Hard Rock Cafe, and then he went to Vegas, where he's now, like in charge of like some of the tribute act things. But when Stroh left, then Carlton came on board, and
but that's how Carlton got in, because we was trying to figure that out. Okay.
Right. When Stroh left, and because Gary, Gary, I guess, couldn't make some of the gigs.
Yeah, he was taking care of his mother. Yeah.
Right. So because that's actually how Stroh was subbing for Gary, and but then when Stroh left, he still couldn't. He still needed a sub. So then Carlton came on, and then I think Kev went out on the road for something.
He did,
and that's
for a long time. Yeah,
that's how Ainsley came on board.
Yeah. It was mad cool how I used to just call you, be like, listen, I need this, I need that. You were like my what's that thing that delivers everything? Amazon. You were like, if you so cool, you're like, yeah, I may know a cat. How much is it pay? I may know a cat. How much is it pay? Those were your two things. Yeah, I may know a cat. How much is it pay?
All right. Well, that was those are the things that what does it pay? And
right. Well, thank you and welcome, man. Welcome my audience. For those of you just watching, my Nappy Head Funk Army OGs, Eric J at the top over here, 718XAD, Patricia Dioria, Kevin Harrington over here on my right, on the bottom left, and Pearl. These are all amazing spirits, beautiful people. Got nothing to do with music. We could all be working in a library together or somewhere else, or a bank or wherever. We'd all still and get together and have fun, man. I appreciate you guys. Mark, are you ready? Could you play that thing that Ken Webb sent first before we do pictures, please? I got to see if my producer, Mark, is back there. If you can hear me. Because I got a lot of old photos that I'm going to show, and then we're going to talk about Carlton a little bit too. Let me see where Mark is at. Mark is actually working on several shows at once, probably, I know too. So that's what he does when he's producing this. Yo, Mark, you ready? Let's can you do the Ken Webb tribute? David Webb. Thanks. But yeah, man, hanging out and just understanding here we are now, and the Funk Chronicles Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center, Dayton, Ohio, which is kind of right around in the same 200-mile radius of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But everybody that you want to know, you can look them up, and I'll put that information on the bottom. You can look them up, and Slave, Lakeside, all the Parliament Funkadelic members, the Isley Brothers, all of the funk heroes and people that have laid it that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are in there. And that's the beauty of us going in. What'd you say, Mark? You don't see what, son? Hold on 1 second. That's the beauty of it. I don't see that one, but I will find it. Give me a minute. Oh, yeah, that's the one where the audio tribute. The audio tribute that we're gonna play that he sent. But yeah, so when him and I started vibing last year, and I started understanding what he was doing and starting supporting his thing up in Ohio. I was trying to get everybody to understand, like, this is coming